Hey folks, this is JDS,
In this base.
and we're in the Wood League, and so are you. And today we've got an all-European matchup between Socke and ServyOa. I don't know if Oa is the name of his team, is ServyOa.
Yeah, who is that guy?
Nonetheless, well, they both top 200 Europeans. Don't know much about ServyOa, but by all accounts, this game is a pretty crazy major throwdown. So I was pretty excited to see it. We've seen Socke before. He's a pretty prime time player as far as the European scene is going, but should be a good PvT nonetheless.
Yeah, weird. JDS, what's the longest Starcraft game you've ever played?
I've ever personally played.
Yeah.
Jeez. I don't know. I guess I can't really
Like
remember.
a big grind or anything like that? I remember that one replay you showed me that your Terran intuition came through in the end, or the Terran, I guess
Ingenuity.
building floating. Yeah,
Oh,
Terran
the building
floating.
floating. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever personally been responsible for a crazy stalemate due to my floating buildings and stuff like that. I've certainly been like the victim of one. With you, I think we've been in a couple of 2v2s where like a Terran would just float away forever and it really like extended the life of the game. But I don't know. I don't really consider that you're still playing at that point. I just it's like tomfoolery. Yeah, probably like 40, 45 minutes. Probably the longest game I've ever taken part of.
Interesting.
I think the fact that I can't really think of one clearly probably means that I wasn't really ever involved in a super crazy one. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I don't know if it's something that you would purposely try to remember, or you, you just go to bed or something and say,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
what?
you,
Sometimes this game is too long.
yeah, you either remember it in like nightmares or you remember it like because it was legendary and people talk about it forever. And maybe that this game is one of those, that
Yeah,
people will be talking about forever. But nothing too crazy going on right now. I mean, this is a four-player map, so scouting taking slightly a bit longer than usual. Both these players kind of trying to establish their macro game before checking out what the other
yeah.
two are going, and both of them going to the wrong side right off the bat. So it looks like
Yeah, neither player going diagonally, which is, as you know, is my choice of the
yeah.
direction to scout on a four-player map. Why not go diagonal if they're on the opposite side, which I find is the case more than one third of the time for whatever reason. Maybe it's just roll of the dice thing. Maybe it's just luck of the draw that I find my opponent most often directly across. But yeah, it's always my policy to go straight across. Neither of these players doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think in most of the players' minds, you want to be able to know if the players are as close to you as possible. Especially with these destructible rocks over here on this map. Creating a pretty sneaky backdoor for both of these players, but neither of these players opting to do so. Socke actually putting a pylon quite kind of hidden in his own base. I thought for a second like he was proxying his own base, but I guess he's got some secret plans for that pylon, or at least just want to keep some of his supply hidden away from.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe so you can teleport units down the ledge or something like that. It doesn't. Maybe I guess that's for starport hiding or something like that, perhaps.
Yeah, that is actually a good point. He might want to hide one of his buildings, in the future. Right now, going for a pretty fast expand here for is Socke. Not super fast, but fast in terms of not much scouting, not much aggression has been taking place. Maybe he thinks that that's a good idea. Good indication that Servi is not ready for any aggression either. But a Hellion going to take on, or not really take on, but is going to see this sorry, Stalker, geez, brain freeze right there, and he's going to try to fly on past, and it looks like he's going to do that pretty effectively. If it's only Stalkers out on the board right now, and if it's only these two Stalkers out on the board, then Socke's workers might be in a little bit of trouble. But here's a Sentry going to go to work on this Hellion.
Yeah, Servi quickly discovering this expansion. And my question right now is going to be whether Servi chooses to push because of this early expansion, or if he's going to counter expand to keep up an economy.
Yeah, I mean, excellent little. I just want to remark on that excellent little shield force field there by the Sentry, blocking out the Hellion, so it doesn't have any room to run and prolong its life. But yeah, exactly like you said, ServyOa doing a good job of finding out the early expansion there. The Hellion didn't have any offensive effectiveness there, but not too much minerals to waste to find out that your opponent has expanded already, and now the worker transfer in effect for Socke. It looks like that expansion is going to get up and running. This Stalker, meanwhile, going to be under pressure by this clump of Marines, and it's probably going to have to try to get out of here.
Yeah, Sock doing that thing that I always recommend Protoss doing, and that is against Terrans, skipping Zealots altogether, just going for that range. Oh my God, a very quick Thor coming out of Servi's base now, and hopefully, if he knows what's best for him, he is going to put pressure on this fast expansion.
Yeah,
Looks like he's making his way across the map, and he's going to do just that.
quickly changed the factory from a reactor, sorry, not a reactor, but quickly changed his strategy from the factory, from Hellions to a tech lab and a Thor rush. In addition, a crazy super worker rush. Almost all these workers having minerals in their hands.
I know, it's just like we saw at the GSL, eh?
Yeah.
These workers are going across, and they're seriously going to buff up this army. I mean, just look at that. There's as many workers as Marines, and these workers are just going to get in the way and take some shots.
Yeah, this is what is known in many circles as a repair rush. You get this Thor out super duper quick, and then you just repair it as ad nauseum with the SCVs that you bring forth. So a little bit of a late repair rush, but it looks to be pretty effective against Socke right now, who doesn't have that many units in his army. Has a clump here, finally building zealots to maybe try to take down this Thor, try to be a little bit beefier in the face of the Thor barrage. But this expansion is going to go down with little to no resistance. Socke now having an Immortal out on the field, and it's going to make this Thor a little bit more difficult to repair. The Immortal will go down to a constant fire from the Thor, but it looks like the Thor is eventually going to be farmed down. Good job here from Socke, recognizing the need for beefier units. He's going to try to get his workers into play now.
The Zealots were absolutely essential in fending off that attack there, and you know, so I think Socke did the right thing by conceding that expansion, just letting it go down, moving out all the workers immediately, and quickly reinforcing his army.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of duped Servi to think that he just didn't have the units to deal with the Thor rush, and when in fact Socke had a pretty good contingent of units, was also waiting for that Immortal to come out just in time and kind of locked ServyOa up to the up on the choke point and was able to take out that initial Thor. So like you said, sacrifices his first expansion, but not completely decimated was Socke, and he's going to live to fight another day, especially considering ServyOa has not expanded himself. He has the command center built and is floating it over, so that expansion will start rocking and rolling pretty quickly, but not major damage to Socke as far as the economy is concerned.
One Colossus on the way for Socke, and a Thermal Lance as well. Really going to put the hurt on to this player, and as you know, Marines are easily destroyed by Colossi, and as are all their workers, so looks like Servi's going to have to change something else up here. The Thor and tank will do pretty well against the Colossus, but I'm not sure about the rest of Servi's army and whether he has a large enough army to take on what will soon be coming from Socke's base.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he continues the strategy of bringing many workers along to support the Thor, the Colossus will absolutely go to town on those workers and the Marines and just shred them up in a matter of seconds. So he could lose a lot more workers, a lot more units very quickly than he could possibly imagine in the next skirmish at the Protoss base. But it looks like Servy's pretty content right now to turtle for the time being and get his expansion up and running. Meanwhile, Socke has not expanded. Looks like there's a worker on the way here. Maybe possibly has has intentions to get his expansion up and running, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Start warping in the Nexus any second now. Come on, you can do it. Come on, worker.
Yeah, and this pylon is going up ahead of time, so perhaps Socke can put up some defense once it comes up. It looks like Socke actually might be putting up defense before putting up the Nexus, or putting up nothing at all, just leaving a pylon there all by its lonesome and bringing a probe along to help in the attack.
Yeah, it looks like a moment of hesitation there for Socke. Was definitely had thoughts of bringing out the Nexus, but maybe wants to build a forward pylon situation. Has the Observer, of course, in ServyOa's base right now, so he sees what he's going to be up against, and he feels like with the Colossus he might be able to push out effectively. And I bet that worker is there for to build a forward pylon once he establishes a bit of a beachhead here, and ServyOa sees those thermal lances going to work, and he's got to be thinking, uh-oh, am I prepared for Colossi?
Yeah,
as well as I could
four
be.
Hellions out on the board right now with an Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade. Do you think it's too late, JDS, to be bringing out Hellions at this point in the game?
You know what? I think that it might be kind of a very very clever move, because if he can manage to get the Hellions to run by and go right into Socke's base and start going to town on his workers, and maybe this new expansion that is just now going up, he might belay this attack here from Socke, because this is going to be pretty devastating as far as Socke's concerned. Socke can just bide his time and really really put the hurt on this expansion. So maybe ServyOa is just kind of waiting a little bit and thinking about a run by, but that hasn't really been that really hasn't materialized yet.
Yeah,
Keeping
these
those Hellions in the base.
Right now, these Hellions are staying back, and it looks like he intends to use them to help defend. But I just don't think they're going to do anything in a defensive position. He's got to get them out of his base. He's got to run them up Servy's ramp, or up Socke's ramp, sorry, and get them in the back, destroying those probes.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, he made a couple more. The numbers 6 Hellions on the board right now, and maybe now he's thinking about the run by. Here it goes. He's gonna, oh man, he's gonna see that the
those
Colossi
are in the perfect position, and those Hellions. One of them quickly goes down, and now these Vikings are going to move out to see if they can take some pot shots at the Colossi, but they get cold feet and run away.
lucky enough for Servy, he was able to react quickly and just lose one Hellion, but the run by unsuccessful for Servy as of now. And there are the Colossus. They're going to go to work on the Hellions, and this time he won't be so lucky, losing 3 more. The population of Hellions down to 2. Colossi going to work on a siege tank, going to lose a siege tank for ServyOa. So right now, ServyOa, I mean, a good position as far as kind of beefiness around his base, but Socke doing a good job of being really, really chippy and not losing any units cheaply, not just running his whole force in, and just doing a very, very good job of playing mind games with ServyOa right now.